This dishwasher can cost around $1,000, while one drain pump can cost about $65. But when that little pump stops doing its job, the entire machine can appear completely useless. You open the door expecting clean dishes, and instead find several inches of cloudy water. The cycle finished, the lights worked, but the water simply never left the machine. At that moment, a $1,000 appliance suddenly looks like an expensive stainless steel cabinet full of dirty water. But not draining tells us almost nothing about which component actually caused the problem. Because the water must travel through an entire drainage path before it ever reaches your sink. At the bottom of that path sits one surprisingly compact electric machine, the drain pump. Its job sounds simple. Take used wash water and push it out of the dishwasher. When the control activates it, a small motor spins an impeller hidden inside the pump housing. That impeller creates the flow needed to send dirty water through the drain hose. But here's the important part. A failed pump isn't the only thing that stops that flow. A clogged filter can slow the system before water even reaches the drain pump properly. Food debris can also collect inside the sump, directly in front of the pump's intake. A tiny piece of glass can reach the pump and physically jam the impeller. The motor may still receive electricity, but the trapped impeller can't move enough water. That can create one useful diagnostic clue, a steady hum with almost no water movement. A grinding sound can point toward hard debris trapped somewhere inside that same pump area. But sometimes the pump is perfectly healthy, and the blockage sits several feet farther downstream. A kinked drain hose can restrict water even while the pump is working exactly as designed. Grease and food buildup can narrow that same hose until normal drainage becomes painfully slow. And then there's one installation mistake capable of making a brand new dishwasher look defective immediately. Many dishwashers drain into the garbage disposal connection beneath the kitchen sink. New disposals often arrive with a knockout plug sealing that dishwasher inlet until installation requires it. Forget to remove that plug, and the dishwasher has nowhere to send its wastewater. The pump can be brand new, powerful, and completely innocent while water remains trapped inside. This is exactly why symptoms become dangerous when they're mistaken for proof of a failed component. Standing water proves one thing. Water didn't successfully complete the drainage path. It does not automatically prove the pump motor itself is dead. And that distinction can be worth far more than the $65 part sitting under the machine. Because replacing a pump requires more than clicking buy on the correct replacement part. The dishwasher may need power disconnected, water managed, and lower panels removed before the pump is accessible. Then the technician still needs evidence showing that the pump is actually the failure. Does it receive power during the drain command? Is the impeller physically free to rotate? Is something jammed inside it? Or has the electric motor genuinely stopped working? Those are three different problems hiding behind one identical pool of water. And there's another component many owners forget exists because it usually hides directly beneath the dishes. The filter is the first defense between leftover food and the machine's most sensitive water-moving parts. When neglected, grease and debris can restrict flow before any expensive component has actually failed. Whirlpool's own troubleshooting guidance tells owners to inspect the filter and sump before blaming the pump. That order matters because the cheapest repair is sometimes removing something that never belonged there. One obstruction removed from the sump can restore a drainage path without replacing a single electrical component. Then there is the drain hose routing, which solves a different problem entirely: wastewater flowing backward. A proper high loop or air gap helps prevent dirty sink water returning toward the dishwasher. Route that hose incorrectly, and water may return even after the pump successfully pushed it away. Now the owner sees standing water again and naturally suspects the pump that already did its job. This is what makes drainage failures perfect examples of the replacement trap. The symptom is obvious, but the exact cause can live anywhere along a surprisingly long path, and every component replaced before finding that cause increases the cost of uncertainty. That $65 pump may be inexpensive compared with the $1,000 appliance surrounding it. But diagnosis, labor, access, and uncertainty can make the real repair bill much larger than $65. And that's when replacing the entire dishwasher starts entering the conversation, even if it's technically repairable. But there's a reason modern dishwashers use complicated pumps, filters, and sensors instead of simple tubs of water. Modern machines are designed to clean dishes while using surprisingly little water compared with older habits. Current Energy Star criteria limit standard certified dishwashers to 3.2 gallons of water per cycle. That means the machine must reuse and move the same water efficiently throughout much of the wash cycle. That's why a dishwasher actually contains two very different water-moving jobs during one complete cycle. The circulation pump repeatedly sends water towards spray arms while dishes are being cleaned. The drain pump performs another task entirely, removing that water when the machine is finished with it. Confusing those two pumps can lead owners toward the wrong diagnosis before repair even begins. If dishes stay dirty, circulation may deserve attention. If water stays behind, drainage becomes the investigation. And even within drainage, the investigation should usually begin with the simplest restrictions first. Is the filter blocked? Is debris sitting in the sump? Is the hose kinked? Was a garbage disposal recently replaced? Is its dishwasher inlet actually open? Does the pump hum? Does it grind? Or is there absolutely no pump sound during draining? No sound may shift attention toward power, wiring, controls, or the pump motor itself. That is very different from a pump receiving power but struggling against a piece of glass. Same symptom, different cause, completely different repair. This is the part of appliance ownership nobody thinks about while admiring a new stainless steel machine. Purchase price tells you what the appliance costs on the first day, not what ownership costs later. A machine becomes easier to keep when its failure points can be accessed, tested, and replaced individually. It becomes harder when diagnosis requires replacing parts simply to discover whether those parts were bad. And that's why repairability isn't just about whether a screwdriver can physically reach the component, it's also about information, parts availability, diagnostic access, and the time required to isolate the fault. None of that proves every modern dishwasher was deliberately engineered to become disposable. Modern designs are balancing water efficiency, cleaning performance, noise, manufacturing cost, and limited cabinet space simultaneously. Those compromises can produce genuinely impressive machines that clean more efficiently than older approaches. Energy Star even notes innovations like soil sensors, improved filtration, and more efficient water jets. The hidden cost appears when one small part interrupts that carefully optimized system years later. Then the question becomes whether the system was designed so that failure can be economically corrected. For owners, that means one simple habit can protect both the pump and the repair budget. Clean the filter regularly instead of waiting until the machine gives you standing water as a warning. Scrape large food pieces away before loading so fewer objects ever reach the sump. And after plumbing work beneath the sink, inspect the dishwasher hose before assuming the appliance suddenly failed. If the disposal changed, confirm the knockout plug was actually removed before buying any dishwasher parts. When water remains, listen to what the dishwasher does during the moment it should be draining. A hum, grinding noise, or complete silence each points the investigation in a different direction. Look at how much water remains too, because different levels can suggest different restrictions. Most importantly, ask what was actually checked before somebody tells you the pump must be replaced. Was the hose clear? Was the sump clear? Was the impeller free? Did the pump receive power? Those answers are worth more than simply knowing the price of a new pump. And when buying your next dishwasher, search beyond rack layouts, touch controls, and quietness ratings. Search its model number and see whether pumps, hoses, filters, and control parts are actually available. Find out whether common service components can be reached without dismantling half the machine, because someday the best feature on your dishwasher may simply be a replaceable $65 pump. The real danger isn't that a small part can fail. Every mechanical product eventually has failures. The danger is replacing a $1,000 machine before proving which small part actually stopped doing its job. A dishwasher full of water looks broken, but broken is still a diagnosis, not an observation. The observation is simpler. The water didn't leave. Your job is finding exactly where the journey stopped. Next, we're opening a washing machine to find the bearing that can make an entire drum economically disposable.